What's going on, guys? It's your boy Joe Fairwell back at you with another quick tip for the Tactical Hyve, and today we're covering chokes for your shotgun. Specifically going to get into a little bit of 3-gun chokes, but this can also apply to just understanding how your defensive shotgun works as well. It's important to know what the pattern is doing when you shoot it, depending on the choke that you're running, the ammo that you're running. So the first thing I want to talk about is choke selection in the first place. When we're looking at a 3-gun stage, you want to make sure that you're using the choke that's appropriate for the hardest target on the stage. I can't express that more importantly than that. Hardest target on the stage. So if you've got a 15-yard tiny little plate and you've got a bunch of real close clays, run the choke that's going to knock that plate down. Okay, it's really important that you do that. So we have a couple of different chokes. Now the first one that I would typically use is the diffusion. So this is the Briley 3-gun choke set. The diffusion, it is a pretty great choke because it's going to open up that pattern even more than just running a straight cylinder choke. So that when you have those closer targets, clays or easy knockdowns, you can have that pattern as big as possible. What that allows you to do is have an easier acceptable sight picture. Okay, so if I've got a choke pattern that's this big at 10 yards, now I only have to get within a foot of that target before I pull the trigger. Yes, I'm not aiming super hard, but it allows me to shoot that much faster, that much sooner. That's what our goal is when we're looking at the competition side of things. So the bigger pattern helps me out with that. Now the next one up that I use is the IC. So that's improved cylinder. Okay, and I also like to use these extended chokes because it gives me an extra inch and a half of length on my barrel. It's going to improve my velocity overall. So the improved cylinder is going to kind of give me a little bit tighter pattern than just a regular cylinder, and definitely a tighter pattern than the diffusion. Now improved cylinder is going to pretty much take this gun out to about 18 to 20 yards. I can take most targets down from 18 to 20 yards. Anything beyond that or a heavier target, a smaller target, I'm going to bump things up to a light mod. So this is a light modified. The light modified is going to be slightly bigger than the improved cylinder, slightly smaller than the modified or the full choke. So the light mod does pretty much everything I need to do in 3-gun. I haven't had a situation except for maybe a handful of times where I need to go tighter than that to a modified or improved mod or even a full. So typically those 3 chokes, your diffusion, the improved cylinder, and the light modified or even a modified choke, those are the 3 that you really need to be successful in 3-gun. You can pretty much do everything with those. I also have a full. The full will help me push things farther out. In case I have like a really tight target or a tight no shoot, and we're going to do a video here that involves no shoots and selecting the choke for that, but with the full, it really tightens up that pattern. So the other thing that really makes a difference with choke selection is, number one, what ammo you're running. So sometimes what I will do is I may still run the IC for a longer target because everything else is kind of mid-range, but I'll throw in some heavier loads, so like maybe a number 6 shot that's a little bit higher velocity, a heavy field load, something like that, and that's going to give me the extra distance without having to choke up. Another thing that makes a big difference is the length of your barrel. So if you're running a short little like 19-inch barrel versus a 22, 24-inch barrel, that really makes an impact on how much velocity you're getting out of that barrel and what choke you need to run. There are even certain shotguns that are running 14-inch barrels now from Dissident Arms that you really need to put a tight choke. You're gonna have to choke up a whole lot more to make sure you're getting the impact on that target that you're shooting. So that'll give you a few things to think about when it comes to selecting a choke for your 3-gun game. Again, you can apply this to your self-defense game if you're running a shotgun for your home defense gun. But if you have any questions on 3-gun gear, check out the gear guide below, and I hope you guys have an awesome day, and keep an eye out for the video that we're going to be launching that's going to have the no shoots involved as well.